Hello, everyone. Welcome to the part two of presentations on number line. Okay, we're on the back side of the paper. Here we go. Opposites. The opposite of number is the same distance away from zero, but also on the other side of the number line. So if you have a positive, this is going to be a negative, and so on. Okay, they can either be positive or negative. So let's go to number line. We are going to be looking at the numbers on the left side of the number line, or on the number line, and then finding the number after the opposite. So the number here is between 0 and -2, but halfway, so it'll be -1. The absolute value of -1, of course, is +1. It's 1 from 0, and distance is always positive. And the opposite of -1 is +1. All right, now the next one. Looks like that is a little bit to the right of -10, so that's going to be like -9, okay? -9, the absolute value of -9 is 9. It's 9 away from 0. And the opposite of -9 is +9. Go ahead and pause the video and try the next two by yourselves. All right, welcome back, guys. So you should have said that this one is -1.5 on the number line. The absolute value of -1.5 is +1.5. And the opposite of -1.5 is +1.5. All right, you should have done this one as well, but if you didn't, it's okay. Follow along here. So we have to the left of 8, so we're looking at about 7.5. Okay, if you said 7, not the greatest deal, but it's not quite in the halfway between 6 and 8, so it's about halfway between that point, which would be 7.5. Okay, now the opposite of 7.5 is +7.5, and the opposite of 7.5 is -7.5. Alrighty, here we go. So we're going to use these clues to plot these points. So point A, it says, is an equal distance from 0 as point E. If you look at point E, it's about at -1.5. So we need to go about the same distance away on the opposite side of the number line. So this is going to be point A. And we don't have to be exact. We're really estimating. Okay, so try your best here. Next one, B. It says B is the absolute value of point B is 2. Well, it could be either positive or negative. We don't have much information here. So I'm going to plot it at -2. I'm going to put it to the left side. So you could plot it as +2. I did -2. Okay, it varies. Next, C, the opposite of point C is negative. Well, if the opposite is negative, it means it has to be positive. So we can really put it anywhere we want. I'm going to put it here, all the way to the right. Point C. So this could be any positive number. As long as you put it on the right side of the number line, you are just fine. Okay, now look, it says point D and point F can combine to make 0. Earlier in the notes, we saw that opposites combine to make 0. Well, look at what point F is. That means it has to be the same distance away from 0. So I say point D is about right here. Point D has to be the same distance away from 0 that F is. Okay? Perfect. Now, this word problem. Nikki says that a number and absolute value will always combine to make 0. Explain why Nikki's incorrect. Well, Nikki's incorrect because if you have a positive number, the absolute value of a positive number is still positive. And if you come those together, you're not going to get 0. You're going to get a more positive number. So we can explain that as a positive number and its absolute, I'm going to abbreviate absolute value as just ABS. And its absolute value would not combine to make 0. An example of that would be 2 plus the absolute value of 2 is equal to 4, right? Not 0. But we do know the number in its absolute value, in its opposite, the number in its opposite will always result in a sum of 0. That's an example of that would be 4 plus -4 equals 0. All right. Now, number 8, we need to see if these three situations, when they combine with -15, will it result in 0? A says an elevator rises 15 floors. Well, that's the opposite of going down 15. So this is true. A positive and a negative, when they're opposites, will result in 0. $15 is being withdrawn. That's a negative. If you combine a negative with a negative, you're not going to get 0. So this is false. And then the last one, the temperature rises 50 degrees. That's going up 15. Up 15 and -15, that will result in 0. All right, good job, guys, finishing your notes. Make sure you're following along with your pace tracker and come with Canvas. Let me know if you have any questions.